Ha. Okay, a little delay on my end. If you can see and hear, please give me a thumbs up so I know. All right, thank you, Rowan. Okay, just a couple quick announcements while Ivy's en route. Tomorrow here, we have a class, Breaking Generational Curses. That's at 8 p.m. It's going to be awesome. We got some posts up about it in the community thread, so if you're not sure what it is, go through the thread there and you can read about it. Also, Saturday, the 30th, 8 p.m., our monthly walk-in night virtual psychic fair. Okay, so it's $15 and you get 2 tickets, so you can get 2 readings or a reading and a healing or 2 healings. It's a fantastic event, and that's happening Saturday, the 30th at 8 p.m. Students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy, so you can see how we train and get a reading from them. Okay, and also, as you know, we started Roots Revival on Sundays here. It's our church, so we do services here on YouTube. We do them on TikTok as well, Facebook, Instagram, but you tend to be YouTube folks, so check us out there. And we do those Sundays at 8 live here, and if you miss it, no worries, they stay up here, but also it's available on all streaming platforms for your podcast. So you can download it and take it on the go, listen to us on the train, your car, wherever. Also, big news, Psychic Mediumship starting soon. It's February 16th, okay? So if you're interested in registering, you can do so at ivyverspsychicmedium.com. But if you're unsure of your abilities and you want to find out, we have a mini class on the 4th. That's Thursday, February 4th, 8 p.m. It's called Are You a Psychic, Medium, or Empath? And you can tune in here, ask questions about your abilities, and Ivy will answer them for you. So if you're on the fence, that's a perfect push, okay? Outside of that, if you have been tuning in on Facebook, you notice that Ivy's been on a couple different podcasts, doing guest spots with Find Your ID NYC and the Identity Podcast. So if you want to check out her appearances there, they're also available on all streaming platforms. So you can stay caught up wherever you go. Oh, and here's Ivy.
Holly. Okay, very good. Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Try to light my candle here without starting the house on fire. I just wanted to play off what Paul just said there. Find Your ID NYC, amazing podcast. Turek and Caleb have been helping people to figure out what their purpose is, what their true identity is, how to get past all kinds of blocks that society, ourselves, we put on ourselves, limiting ourselves. And they just finished up a religion series. And it was pretty incredible. So they had a ton of people on talking about different things. I was on there a couple times. So yes, check them out. Find Your ID NYC. I'll have Paul put that in the comment section here. Okay, anywhere you can get a podcast, you can find them. All right, fun. On this note, we are starting, we're getting back into merch sales. Okay, so Ivy League Apothecary, Ivy League Psychic Academy, Roots Revival Interfaith, church, all kinds of merch coming to you soon.
Church merch?
Church merch. That's right. So check it out. All right. Does that look good or no? I think I made a mess of it. Why don't you come fix it for me?
Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second,
Now,
please.
I do want to explain to you guys, if Paul didn't already, did you talk to them about including names?
Not yet.
Okay. So as you guys are posting your questions, please do include names of anyone that you're referring to. So if you have a deceased loved one that you were hoping to hear from, Okay, give the first name. If you're asking about your relationship, your love partner, okay, first name. If you are asking about a job or a business, that helps there as well. Okay, give a name. If it's too personal, you could just put initials. Okay, but that helps me to get on to your neighbor faster. All right, Paul will be taking the questions as he sees fit. Paul, do we have some people posting here?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're ready to rock, I can get started.
Okay, hold on.
Also, we do have YouTube memberships for those interested in learning more about certain classes. We post behind the scenes, more class info, psychic tips, messages, daily messages, and also at higher levels, you can get monthly messages from Ivy. And if you're interested in donating, there's a button right under the text thing there, the chat, and you can just hit that and donate.
Yep, absolutely. We appreciate your donations. Feel free to join to become a member for extras and behind the scenes. And if we could all go on right now and give this a big thumbs up, a like, that is greatly appreciated. Feel free to subscribe. If you don't already subscribe to me, hit that bell for alerts when I go live or I post. I do 3 different things here on the Ask Ivy channel. That is this weekly show that we're about to do right now where I take your personal questions. I also do 1 free mini class per week as part of the quarantine series since the pandemic hit. And our Roots Revival Church services also go up here. Okay. All right, very good. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium and a Taino Arawak. I own a school called Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally, online, and everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to astrology, tarot, numerology, Reiki, children as well as adults, you name it, we do it. So we hope to see you there for classes. If you need to book a reading, a party, or an event with me, I also host psychic fairs with graduates of the academy. You can go to my website, which is in the description box. Okay, Paul, if we are ready, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good.
Okay. I didn't get to fix your candle.
That's okay. I did the best I could.
I think it looks great.
Every time I touch it, it gets worse, so good enough.
Maybe the eagle-eyed viewers here will notice that it says Ivy League.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay. I'm going to start with one from Mary.
Okay.
She said, my first boyfriend, John, showed up after 30 years at the beginning of the pandemic, and now he's gone again. What was that all about? Karma? Distraction?
Okay. Well, was it about karma? Was it about distraction? No, it's not about distraction, but it is about karma. So when we see a relationship resurrect itself oddly, or we see that that person's name is coming up all of a sudden after 10 years, 20 years, or if that person like literally shows up, maybe they send you a friend request on your social media or something weird like that. A lot of people will also start to have dreams about that person, memories about that person. Why is this happening? Because when we have a karmic relationship, or what I call a karmic contract with someone else, you can check out the Karma Contracts and Past Lives class up on my website. When we have that going on, we find that the lessons don't really stop when the relationship stops. So it's sort of like psychologists have talked and done research on patients that were in their 90s or even up into their 100s, and they were passing away. One common theme is that they talk about people and relationships from way back when, and they talk about what they learned from it or what it means, and they talk about like the bond of that relationship. That seems odd sometimes, and I believe that what those relationships represent is a significant karmic contract, because you don't get a million of these over the course of your life. You get a few that are really intense and special, and they provide so much lesson plan in them that at different stages in your life, you're supposed to look back and squeeze more information out of it. Okay, what did it mean? Well, the pandemic was a huge opportunity to do that. There was a lot that happened in 2020 that would have stirred you up in certain ways. And because of things like the quarantine, it also put you in a timeout chair. So you were forced to get stirred up and then sit still. And the lessons that he was meant to teach you are not necessarily being completed. But it is feeling to me like it's the end of a karmic cycle for you in your life in general. And he was a player in that.
All right, we have one from Nicole.
Okay.
Just wondering if Stephen has any messages for her or her husband, Mike.
Okay. I feel that Mike has lost his spirit in some ways. So when Stephen comes in, he shows Mike as almost like a protector, you know. So whether I'm not saying he's a firefighter or cop necessarily, but like he would have had this fire about him, you know, he would have had this protective instinct, and he still does, you know, to some degree, but he also seems to be sort of letting his light go out in some different ways. And he seems to be frustrated, yes, with circumstances, but frustrated with himself. And I think that what Stephen's trying to show me is that he may be internalizing things and allowing for circumstances to take a toll on his self-esteem. That comes down to ego, fear, control, you know, not being able to let go and let God, to understand that there's a bigger purpose and something greater than you, watching out over you. He seems to be sort of missing the big picture in some ways. And that's what Stephen really wants to talk about and have you pass on to him. He's also giving a white rose to him for you to pass to him, which can mean that one of you or both of you didn't get a proper goodbye with him, and then he's giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. He loves you guys very much. Yeah.
Okay, we have one from Jocelyn.
Okay.
It says, my life has been real bad. I almost died. I just want to know if anything good is coming my way.
Okay. Your life's been real bad. Is anything good coming your way? Well, I think that, you know, being alive is definitely where you want to reflect, because it's a sign that you have more to do here on Earth, and that you chose, whether you fully understand that or remember that right now, you chose to stay here. Okay. Death points are highly negotiable. We get a handful of them throughout our lives. You chose to stay here. So what that means is that you need to take this opportunity to be more serious about the direction of your life. It's a major wake-up call anytime something like this happens to somebody. To realize who you are, what you came to Earth to do, what you feel passionate about, and to be more outspoken in that. I feel that that's coming more and more to the forefront for you, but you seem to have some sense that something else is coming in to rescue you, to make your life circumstances more than what they are. And that I don't see happening. So the happiness needs to come from what you create from this experience. It's sort of like saying the ball is in your court. I do feel that there are some situations going on, whether that be with your health and or your money, that will be improving. And I think that that can bring some relief. I'm feeling about 4 with that. That could be as soon as 4 weeks. I was feeling more like 4 months. And then the 7th month out from now, I see some nice changes in circumstance there, where you can, it just feels like more freedom. I see you out in the sun, you know, I see things working in your favor more. But all in all, this is about what you want to create, and your happiness is going to come from recreating basically a brand new life for yourself. Okay.
Okay. We have one from, oops, clicked the wrong way. We have one from Destiny.
Okay.
She asks, is moving out of state something I should take into consideration, or maybe a change of environment? I keep having these deep feelings about moving.
And what's her first name again?
Destiny.
Okay. You know, I'm feeling the West Coast for you. So let's say you're, you know, in America. I would be feeling like California, Arizona. I'm feeling the desert, but I'm also seeing flowers. So one of the things that Spirit was drawing here before you asked your question was what looked to me like cactus flowers. So, sometimes these things come into bloom and they're really quite wild to see. And I was also feeling lily pads with you. And so that is more symbolic of like water, like bodies of water that sit. And so it seems, when they mentioned the West Coast, we're looking for areas that would have all of that. And so again, I do feel like I'm talking more California. But you could look anywhere west of where you are and see if you don't find that some things have been drawing you and you feel as though you have unfinished business. You need to go there for some reason. I would be watching at this point too for repetitive patterns. Okay, repeats of either people suggesting that you go there, come there, videos that keep popping up in your feed if you're on social media. Why do certain places keep sort of resurrecting themselves? And I would pay attention to hotter areas. So if you were drawn to like, Texas or Florida or something like this, I do feel that warmer climate for you. And what that's going to represent is not necessarily that that's where you should go, but we are talking about you being in, that sounds wrong, right? You being in heat. No, we're talking.
It does.
We're talking about you being in a climate that sort of resonates with your soul and your spirit and your health. Some people live in the wrong climate and their brain is always foggy and they always feel off, and then they get to the right place and anything they had going on, even health problems, sometimes we see just dry up and clear right up, So I think it's important that you're also in the heat. Okay. Yeah, I feel good about it.
This next one I'm not going to try to pronounce, but I'm just going to say YRAM.
Okay.
Will my work relationship with Sandy improve?
I think Sandy is Sandy, and I think that you are you. And I think that we have two people that are fairly stubborn here. I think that while Sandy may have been the one who was putting out some more, like abrasive energy, I feel too that you have a way of doing things the same all the time when it comes to dealing with her or just different situations in your life. And you tend to have a mentality that if I just keep on doing it, it'll work out. Or maybe sometimes you're not aware that you're doing it. So it's habitual, but it's always the same. And I think that what's going to need to happen here in order for this relationship to feel any better is for a little bit of differentiation in the way that we, approach each other, communicate, how the energy exchange is. At this point, it's fairly off-putting, and I wouldn't want to get involved in it. I mean, so I don't know. Here's a good way to say this. Sometimes it's important to analyze what you bring to the table, what your energy is around this person, how you would like to see it be different, and then ask that question, what can I do to create that change or even try to create that change? And I think this is something that you need to sit back and visualize before you enter the workplace again. So it's like if you do this all the time, we've got a shot at it being better. Otherwise, I'm just really feeling like keep it work and not care. Separate, divide, detach. Yeah.
All right. This is from Andrea. Says, I have a question about success if I decide to move to Korea.
Okay. So Andrea wants to know if she will have success if she moves to Korea. I do feel that there is some. I think that it could be unexpected. So it's very possible that you have a certain idea on what success is going to look like. I also feel that you're a bit of a free-flowing personality. And so you are open to the unexpected. That's fine. I don't really think that you see this one coming, though. And so there seems to be success in your personal life but also with like, business, money, things like this. So I feel good about it. There's talk of 3. And that made me wonder if you were looking at like 3 years of being there, and then we may be looking at another location or some kind of change. And I think that what's important is that you go in with a fluid attitude, you do what you plan to do when you got there, and then allow for the next step to reveal itself. It's sort of like you're stepping out in blind faith. I don't feel that this is the end all be all for you, though. Okay, so good things, but try not to measure them too much. Okay? Sometimes it's better to ask, should I go? Is it important that I go? And just leave it at that. That's all we ever really need to know in life. Is this something I'm supposed to do because it's part of my life contract, or no? And don't look at it any more than that. And the answer is yes. I want to say thank you to everyone leaving donations. Greatly appreciated.
All right, we have one from Rowan.
Okay.
I lost my favorite pen. Can you tell me where it is?
Okay. You may need to be a little louder. Okay. Rowan, I lost my favorite pen. Where is it? That's the second one of those I got today. I got one on TikTok too. Okay. I don't even know that this is like a real thing. I'm feeling like either like there's a replacement for it, or like I'm hearing like this isn't a real thing. What I saw was that there were cushions, so it almost felt to me like a couch or a chair. It felt like a longer chair, so I want to say more like a couch, and dividers. It also seems that there was some kind of table here in front. And so whether this is like a TV dinner type table, or this is a table sort of like this that you could pull up, and it feels to me like it went to the left. And from there, I feel like I'm looking at these cushions. Okay, so see if it didn't end up in the cracks. Mm-hmm.
All right, this is from Kim Yada. I've been having a hard time financially and want to know, will that change soon? It's really hard to keep money in my household.
Okay. In regards to your finances changing soon, I think that some new expenses may actually come up. And I think that it's going to be important that you make decisions about the changes you want to see with the money. So if we were to limit even more, I keep seeing food. And so some changes with like the diet, some changes in the way that we shop for our basic necessities, okay? You might be able to put a little bit more away, or to put money toward, your ultimate goals. So whether that's like paying off debt, that's getting out, it's having a buffer zone, getting out of a like hand to mouth type of a situation with your paychecks. It did look like there was someone else in the family who was going to come and say, I need more, I need this thing. And it reminded me of like a child who has an extracurricular, or there's some other bill involved, with this one's growth, this individual's growth. Now, what that's going to mean is that everybody's contributing equally. Okay, so we may need to do that, but we may also need for other people to pull their weight. And I think that one of the things that you tend to do is to put it all on you. So where can we delegate? Okay, if there's going to be extra money going out, and it's almost like you're always even Steven. It's like every time you go, you have a little bit to put away. It goes somewhere else. You do need to do a reassessment on how much everyone is contributing. And I think the prosperity will flow from an energy shift more than anything. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to thank Nicole and Alex for your donations. It's super rad. Thank you so much. Bernadette pointed out another great saying, speaking of t-shirts. Lessons don't stop when relationship stops.
It's true.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's true. Thank
Yeah.
you, Bernadette. That is a good shirt, isn't it? Yeah, I love that.
Nicole, Mary, Jocelyn, Destiny, Rowan all say thank you, Ivy. And Kim Yada said thank you, and she has just become vegan with her diet.
Oh, very good.
So.
And that's expensive. That's expensive, too. But, you know, there are ways. There are ways. I did that for 16 years. I was a vegetarian for 16 years. I was vegan for 2.5 years, and I raised my kids that way. So it's tough, but, you know, you have to value things like that in a different way than, you know, you would value other things. That's literally how you take care of the environment. It's how you take care of animals. It's how you take care of yourself. And so, yes, it's worth it, but what can we do to make that less expensive? Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Okay, this one is from Rosanna.
Okay.
Said, I just finished school. Do I push to stay with the current company, Paladin, look elsewhere, or return to AHS?
Okay, so the first company, say it again.
Paladin.
Do I stay with Paladin?
Push to stay with the company.
Do I push to stay with Paladin? What's the rest of it?
Do I look elsewhere?
Elsewhere?
Or do I return to AHS?
Return to AHS. You have a couple different options here. I definitely am not feeling a return to AHS. I think that if you were to do that, it would be open. So the door seems open for you, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's almost like a revolving door. Like you get in and you go right back out again. That's not the worst thing to have happen. I think, though, that the next step after that doesn't seem to have a lot of tremendous value in it in regards to your life contract. So when we're looking at your life contract and what you came here to do, is that really playing a role? Not so much. Sort of like an old relationship, you know, you close the chapter, it needs to stay that way is how I feel about that. I think that pushing to stay at Paladin is not really something that you can do. So what's interesting is that you may have some ideas or concepts about your level of control or power in that scenario, and it's a bit of an illusion. You really don't have that say in the situation. I think that you could stay. I don't think that it's the best environment. Elsewhere feels to me like that is your best bet. And when we are looking at elsewhere, I see it breaking down to 3 different places where you might be applying. And I see one that is an open, welcoming environment with coworkers or staff that seem to really care about what they're doing. And that's a nice, refreshing change of course. I think that it's time for you to step out and start almost like raising your standards on, you know, what kind of work environment you want to be in and what you want to be contributing and how you want to feel every day. I think you need to visualize that, and I think you need to manifest that, put that energy out into the world. And it looks like if I were talking about 3 openings or 3 places that you applied, I might be hitting on that middle one the most.
Okay. One from Alex.
Okay.
I want to know which of my past loved ones is trying to come through to me most, and what are they trying to say?
It wasn't any of them. It was your guide. It's been your guide. All right. So I feel your relationship guide coming in, trying to talk to you a lot lately, and that hasn't been working super well. And so I feel him also pushing in your dreams in your sleep. So you may have been having very vivid dreams. You may have been feeling like they're kind of wild. I see you like sweating or waking up oddly. And so I think that the point that they're trying to get across to you here is that this is a time of potential advancement for you. And you really want to have proper boundaries set with people in your life. And so let's say maybe, there had been a toxic love partner, or there were people who kind of have a way of holding you back, or you aren't necessarily surrounded by the most supportive individuals who want to see you level up in life all the time. This would be a time for not only boundary setting, so you're not giving a ton of time and attention out to people around you, but also to be on guard for that new level, new devil mentality. I have a class up here, if you go into the playlist, called Fighting the Dark. Fighting the Dark applies to everybody anytime we are about to level up in our lives. And the way that especially those in our inner circle can unfortunately come and cost us that level up by becoming a block in our energy. And I do think that's what's going on.
Okay, we have one from Rachel.
Okay.
I had a dream about my siblings in my father's house. He is deceased. Is it a message to come together, or what does it mean?
Dream about, well, I would need more. I would need to know what they were doing and how you felt about it and the condition of the house, what rooms you were in. There's a lot that goes along with dream analysis. If we're going to accurately say what it is. So all of those factors would mean a lot. But my general intuition with this is that you are trying to find more about your identity. I don't know that your father is necessarily reaching out to you through these dreams. So we would say that this isn't technically a visit dream. It's what we would call a subconscious dream. I do have a class up on the website called Dreams that would help you to break down the difference and analyze these yourself in the future. But what the house represents is you. So we have your thoughts are the attic, the bathroom is cleansing, the kitchen is food, the bedroom is sex and subconscious thinking. I mean, every room has a different meaning. And when we talk about you being in the house and it being your father's house, so if the house is you, I feel that you're trying to process, or you should be processing right now, your identity, okay? Who you are in your life right now, where the changes have been, what it means, how you've been influenced. The father is a major symbol of authority, but influence for you for sure. And then siblings would kind of be the other major influencers. So when we talk about like first sibling compared to, like the oldest compared to the youngest, we look at major differences between those two. And the way that those two are treated and the different roles that they take on affect you, depending on your role in, the family as well. So you want to analyze, not having to reach out to them and like deal with them necessarily, but you definitely want to analyze how they've influenced you and how he has influenced you, who you are today, and, what you really want to be. What do you want to become? Where is that going? What does it mean? You're definitely in a time of transformation. But all the detail would be there in the dream circumstances.
Okay. This one is from Kristen.
Okay.
It says, what is this stuck feeling I'm feeling, and how do I connect with it?
Well, when we feel stuck, we are typically one of two things. We are out of alignment with our life contract. When I talk about, did I do a mini class on this?
Yes. Your life contract?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I have no recollection of that. So put that in the comments for her. So, living by your life contract is key. Anyone who is out of path has a sense of being frustrated. There's a lack of peace. There's a sense of always searching and looking for something. You're unfulfilled. You're generally anxious. You're dissatisfied. A lot of people could get this sense of like being antsy. And you may also blame others for your dissatisfaction in life. So you're not happy with your relationships. You're not happy with other people. You could get snippy. Depressive, you could also blame circumstances for that. And so you're like, well, nothing satisfies me. No one satisfies me. Nothing satisfies me. And so that's all a sign that you're out of path. You are not living within your life contract, meaning doing the work that you came here to do. And that is huge. I think that for you, that would be an area to focus right now. I'm feeling that more than the other option. And, often when we get to this place, we are also sometimes feeling dissatisfied because we're on the precipice, of this big breakthrough. We're about to have some big level up in life. And right before that happens, again, my class here, Fighting the Dark, check it out on YouTube. Usually right before that happens, a lot of us get so frustrated that we lose our cool, we lose our patience, we get very angry, and we cave. And we can sometimes forfeit a lot of the blessings that we could have had because we give up that positive mentality, that self-control. And none of us are perfect, but we do need to remember that patience is a virtue, and that going forward in life, even when you are in a waiting place, to do that in blind faith, to take your mind off yourself, to be of service to others and do what you can while you patiently wait is key. Okay, don't lose sight of that. So it's usually one of two things.
Okay, we have one from Jan.
Okay.
My dad passed away on the 16th. Does he have a message for me?
Is that Jan?
Jan.
Jan's dad passed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jan. We haven't had a time to catch up in a long time. I did not know that. When was this? The 16th? Okay. So, and what's his first name?
I didn't get it.
Okay, that's all right. So Jan, when I'm going over here with your dad and he keeps mentioning H sound in his name or an H name, I do feel that he's with a lady who reminds me of his mom, I guess I want to say. And I also want to say your husband and two gentlemen, one who I guess is like a brother, or both of them actually feel like brothers. But anyways, he's with a lot of people. Okay, so the first thing is that he had a lot of company. Okay, that's why he's showing me that. And Jan's a student, the rules. They have a way of showing who was there when they passed or crossed first. And so he's kind of going in a traditional method here of showing me the process and what he has to say today. He had a lot of company. He was okay with it. He makes me feel like it was time. I also feel like you may be struggling a little bit with not getting there fast enough. You didn't feel that you had enough time with him, or you felt that there was a gap in communication before it happened. So there seems to be a period of time or space, quite literally, where you weren't there as much as you want to be, and he wants you to be at peace with that. He's talking about how happy you make him, how happy you've always made him. I feel like you're his pride and joy. He shows you smiling, and he shows you maybe even looking like him through here. But he says like that you light up a room, and he's so proud of you, and that you're smart and assertive, and you've got feist. He said you're feisty, that you're fiery, you're feisty, and hold on to that. He says, hold on to that and keep using that going forward. He said that he's going to be around a lot, visiting in dreams. I feel like we could be looking at astral travel, so pay attention, sleep paralysis, sleep apnea that goes along with that. Or feeling stuck, like you can't get back in your body. He also makes me feel like he's watching over your finances. And so I feel like there may be an improvement going on there that he's going to be manipulating in your favor, but also that you might be investing in something. So say you're looking at like a second property or moving or something like this, he's going to be helping with that. I also feel that maybe you have a sister. I'm not familiar with your whole family line, but I feel like there was another female who helped to plan all of this, or is helping to plan this. And it feels kind of complicated, like a stop and start in regards to the ceremony and things like this. And he's trying to help it just sort of go through. Okay, it seems like 3 days of a lot of tension. And then, okay, forward, we move. And he's at peace with that. I don't know, too, if you were looking at the cremation or potential cremation. Okay, but I feel that he's good with whatever you choose to do. Almost like a real hands-off approach, like it doesn't really matter to him. Okay, so this is for you guys now. Now it's about you guys. He loves you very much, and he does hear you talking to him, absolutely, and he knows. He just wants you to know that he's okay. Okay, and he loves you. Okay.
This is from Rebecca.
Okay.
I'm seeing 444 constantly. I saw it more this week than ever before, twice in the middle of the night on the oven, and now on license plates too. Why is it showing up so often for me?
Well, different numbers will show up when we are going through some circumstance, maybe change. And then as you complete that task or you learn that lesson or you move on from that scenario, different numbers will start to show up. So they all apply to where you are in your life right now and what Spirit wants you to know. Now, the number 4 is about support. And so this number means that you are going through significant change in one area of your life. It may be affecting other areas, but typically this is about one major focus. And this is coming from your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels. Basically, the universe, right? Spirit is trying to let you know that they are supporting you in this change and that you just need to see it out. That typically means that the change itself is positive, but we have to be realistic that with any change, it's up to your free will, what you do with it, and your karmic payout, you reap what you sow, will only be as big. The benefit is only as great as the amount of effort and focus that you put into it. So they really want you to pay attention right now. Okay.
All right. This one is from Liz.
Okay.
Said, I'd like to know if my Uncle Cholo comes through. Hope he knows how much I really loved him and that I'm sorry they were not fair with him while he had ALS.
What is ALS?
Lou Gehrig's?
I think so, right? Okay. Did she say they weren't fair?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry they weren't fair with him while ALS.
Okay. So when I'm going over here with you, not your uncle even yet, but just you, and the way that you stated your question, and I already forgot the first part, but we'll go back to that. The first thing I saw were three people who were, I don't know if they were taking advantage of him or if they were just disregarding him. It felt to me like it was somewhat abusive. And so there were 3 different people or 3 scenarios going on that took a toll on him. And I feel that at some point, so here's how he shows it to me. At some point, he just sort of tuned things out and he just decided to not pay attention. He somehow has he found a way in life to tune things out and just to be as positive as he could be. He has this great spirit about him of just love and simplicity and sensitivity. He seems to be a great listening ear, a true healer, even though maybe he needed so much healing himself. He was such a healing energy that it literally radiates out from him. And I think that was in life as well. And he learned, he says, the power of positivity is sometimes in ignorance, almost like ignorance is bliss. And of course, we can't literally live that way all the time, but there are different scenarios where you definitely have to apply that to your life or it will be overwhelming and it will take you down. And so he knew when to apply it. He knew how to apply it, with who, under what circumstance. And I think that that's what helped him to hold on to his light, to keep his light alive, and he just says that you have, this is going to make me cry. This is going to be the one. He says that you have this, it's almost like a flame, it's almost like this beautiful heart that you're all on fire, and that what he went through and what you witnessed is for you to use, okay, to give to other people. Yeah. Lose my shit.
Do you want
No, I have my paper towel. Okay. Luckily, I'm near the end of the show here, so before I lose my shit anymore, I just think it's important. What's her name? Liz. I think it's important that, when you see horrible things, or you watch someone suffer, or, you feel, he says, like, you feel disempowered, that you felt disempowered. When something makes you feel that, it is as though it's a gift and you're supposed to take it and you're supposed to use it to heal the world around you. to empower others, to prevent situations like that. Okay, so this is all a big lesson. It's something you're supposed to use. And I'm not saying you're the only one, around who maybe noticed it, but I kind of get the sense that you're the only one who's going to get this. Okay, and that's your calling. So he loves you. He'll be guiding you in that. Wrap it up.
Yes. This one is from Lola. So, does my dad, Leonard, have any messages for me? He passed when I was 3. I always want him to visit me in my dreams, but never have.
Well, he says he has. I'm not always sure that your father is coming through as your father. So pay attention in dreams whenever you're meeting up with people. Remember that they don't always keep form. And because you have all these ideas of your father, you've made him into, he says, these different images. So you have images and concepts of what he would be able to offer you in your life, and you transform him into different things in your dreams, okay? So he is there. Anything that would give you direction or protection or healing, all the things a father is supposed to do, he does show up as those. He's also mentioning cats. So I feel quite literally he's manipulating cats. And I would not rule out strays. I feel that sometimes he's using things like squirrels or nature animals also to let you know that he's around. But he is trying to, I feel lately, like get your attention and to start a dialogue with him more than what you have been. So it's really important that you say to him, like, show me a sign or a symbol that it's you. And you may want to start with something like a cat or a squirrel. Show me a sign or a symbol that it's you. And then I want you to sort of, pull back and wait for that. Let him talk to you. Remember, communication is a two-way street. And just because they're deceased doesn't mean anything's changed. You're still discussing and carrying on a relationship communication with a human being. And so we have to know how people talk. And so you're going to find out more about how he talks, what symbols he uses. Just because you like dreams doesn't mean he's great at communicating through dreams. Obviously not. He's there, but he's not really pulling it off to the extent, that other spirits can. So, however, he can manipulate energy. He can manipulate animals. And so we're going to want to start there with signs and symbols outside of yourself. That's his language. That's where we want to meet him. And you want to dismiss nothing. Okay. So the minute he shows up, it's gratitude. It's, that was so fun. Let's do that again. And build from there. I would also watch for birds, and I would watch specifically for red birds. Okay, but he loves you very much, and he's around. He's just not the best communicator I've ever seen in the world. Okay? All right.
All right. I want to thank, again, Nicole and Alex, Liz, Lola, and Rosanna. Thank you for your donations. And Alex, Rosanna, Rachel, Rebecca, Jan, I'll say thank you so much. And Liz as well. She said thank you so much.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So I will see you back here next week at 8:30. But when is our next free mini class?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Is that Breaking Generational Curses?
It is.
Okay, at 8 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So see you guys back here tomorrow for free mini class, Breaking Generational Curses. How are you being influenced in your life, myth and truths? And how can, we become more empowered to bring ancestral healing to our bloodline by taking our power back. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great night.